Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, a little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And yes, I am back again. I know some of you are like, Larry, you just like keep doing shows. Well, yes, I do keep doing shows. That's true. I've done a lot of them recently, and I'm trying to keep them up to get things going so that people can still have a place to come here and chat with me. I'm hoping that you like to. If you can, you may. And bring up issues that I think are kind of important here or there, things that get things that bother me or I think are important. And I kind of want to walk down some roads that I do enjoy walking down. And the one I want to think of is do any of you happen to like or did like or still like the I think it was an Adult Swim show, or maybe it was that, I think so. Rick and Morty. And if you happen to like that show. I did. I enjoyed the show, and my oldest daughter did also. They both enjoyed, myself and my oldest daughter both enjoyed Rick and Morty. Well, some of you who may enjoy the show know that the two main characters in the show, both Rick and Morty, are voiced by the same guy. One guy does both of the voices, of both Rick and Morty. Why do you care? Because that guy was accused of something not very nice. And when he was accused of something not very nice, he was canceled. He was removed from the show. They got rid of him. And the show is basically over. Right now, there's some kind of like anime. They did a final season with other actors to kind of fill the gap, to kind of like wrap things up. And then now there's like an anime series in Japanese or something. But the actual show is basically dead, right? Basically dead now, right? Well, here's the problem. That guy, never convicted. Charges dropped. Gone. He got canceled, which don't get me wrong. I'm sure he's not broke. Like, he's probably not starving now. I'm sure he's still eating. I assume, at least. I mean, I don't know if he has a problem or something, but I assume that he's still doing fine. The guy who played both of those characters. But now, not only is his career over, now, of course, people are scared of him. And on top of it, we lost a good show for those of us who like the show. All gone. Canceled. Like that. On someone saying you did something bad. Have we learned nothing? Do we still believe and trust no matter what somebody says? Do we just believe and trust whatever the government tells us? And that's what I mean. The government said he's bad, so therefore he must be bad. Somebody said he's bad, so cancel him. I thought, and that's incorrect. I learned this the hard way, by the way. Some of you don't know, I literally have been a consultant in for defense attorneys, helping them to do different things like jury selection, opening, closing statements, things like that, right? One of the things that I know you're like, Larry, you do almost everything. Kind of, yes. And that is one thing I do also. So I have watched juries. I've watched all the things where the government just says something's bad and it not be true at all. And I know that it's not true and does not matter. And this happens. We've learned nothing. But I'm not done. You might remember, I don't know if you do happen to remember the Johnny Depp issue with his lovely wife who likes to defecate where they sleep? Remember that one? Yeah. He was a bad guy. He was so terrible. Let's cancel him. Find out Amber's the crazy one, not him. Have you learned anything? I'm going to go back to 1992. Was it 92, right? Atlanta, the Atlanta Olympics. Remember there was an explosion there? And the one guy who tried to save people and was actually a hero, they all of a sudden decided to destroy him. He was a bad guy now. Cops said he was the bad guy. Destroyed his life. Wrecked him. And then they went, oh, no, not him. Have we learned nothing? And now it's happening again. Last night I was talking about the idea that supposedly these Russian people were giving money to these conservative commentators. And now it's all a big scandal. And you might go, well, Larry, are you defending them? I'm not. I am not defending. Oh my God, hold on. The anti-corporatist says rectum damnably killed him. All right. There's a joke on this, and he knows the joke. So I'm going to tell the joke, right? So don't get mad. I'm going to tell. It's totally off topic, but he brought it up. So I do want to bring up, I'm going to tell the joke. All right. Son goes up to his dad and says, hey, Dad, you should have seen what I just saw. What'd you see, son? I saw a car accident. A car accident? Yeah, a car accident. A car coming down the road, sees a dog, hits the dog right in the ass. He goes, son, don't say ass, say rectum. He goes, rectum nearly killed him. That is a joke that he just did. How would I know that joke? Because I am also an MC when it comes to things like, by the way, raising money and fundraising. I will do that kind of thing, and I tell jokes just like that. So thank you, anti-corporatist, for giving me a reason to tell that terrible joke. Anyway, sorry. I do want to keep walking down the road if you don't mind, though. And that is, where was I again? Oh, yes, Lauren Chen. Lauren Chen has been canceled because she is in the document that the government put out. She's in a document. Supposedly, again, government says, not saying it's not true or not, that these Russians were giving money to her, and supposedly she was giving the money out to others, and she was supposedly a bad person, her and her husband, again, according to the government, says that. Okay. But I thought it was innocent unless proven guilty. I know you've heard before, innocent until proven guilty. No, innocent unless. Until just means wait till your time and then be guilty. No. Unless proven guilty, you are innocent. That's gone. But anyway, in theory, should be that. Well, how about now? Why are we getting rid? Why is she being removed? And I go, Larry, she's indicted. Look, first off, no, she's not. Lauren Chen nor her husband were indicted. They were mentioned in the document. There were two other people who were indicted, not her. She was not, nor was her husband. They're not indicted. So she lost her YouTube page, right? She lost her deal with Daily Wire. Now, I am not saying that all of a sudden Lauren Chen is starving. I don't think so. I think she'll be fine. She's a new baby. I'm sure her baby will still eat. But what happens when this is what someone eats off of? What happens when someone does eat off of this, or off their job, or off what they're doing? And when they lose their job, they're finished. And they're finished until the government decides that they're not guilty or guilty anymore. Have we learned nothing? My argument is yes. All we want is our pound of flesh, and we don't care. And we will allow anyone to be punished because they're part of something I don't like. I don't like Lauren Chen, or I don't like Tim Pool. So punish them all. It's all good until it's you or someone you know or like. Now, I don't know Lauren Chen at all. Never met her. Never been in a show. I have no idea. She might be this mastermind evil person, maybe, and she may just be an innocent person or something in between. I don't know. To be forward, at this point, I don't care. She's not indicted. She's not even charged. She just was listed as being some kind of bad guy on a piece of paper the government put out, and now she's losing everything. And you might go, Larry, but don't these people have a right as a private institution to end contracts as long as they're following the rules of the contract? Yes. I'm not saying what's happening to her is illegal. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's wrong. That's what I'm saying. And not just that, here's what I know, and we all know this. YouTube did it because of pressure from the government, because YouTube always is pressured from the government. That's why I have to say funky words. I can't talk regular on YouTube because they will cancel me. Why? Because government say so. That's the reason, right? That's the piece that I'm concerned about. I'm not saying it's illegal what they're doing. I'm not. What I'm saying is it is wrong what they're doing. It is wrong. That is my issue. And so now what happens if it's 6 months from now, never charged, never indicted, gone for 6 months? Her means of making cash is just gone for 6 months. Again, I'm sure Lauren Chen will not starve, right? She's not going to starve, but she's hurt for no reason. And I'll go back to one point. What if it was you? What if it was you that you are forced that you may not make money for 6 months because someone said you were a bad person? Someone said that you are a bad person for whatever reason, and now you are unable to make any money for 6 months. Most Americans couldn't handle that. Again, Lauren will be fine. If they hammer Tim Pool or something, he'll be fine too. None of the people who they may or may not hammer are going to starve. So that isn't the point. The point is now it becomes the small YouTuber who just quit their job or is just using this as to make extra money because they can't survive on their regular job. And now they can't do it. Or worse, it's not even a YouTuber. It's just you at your job. You work at a job. You work at a law firm. You work at an accounting firm. That's how you pay your bills, how you feed your family. And someone goes, oh, Morgan, you're a bad guy because this thing, the government says, no indictment, no charging. And now, oh, Morgan, we can't have you associated with this organization. We're going to let you go. Well, great. Now it's public. Who's going to hire me now? Well, Morgan, you don't get to eat for 6 months, I guess. Good luck with that. That's our current world. That's why this is wrong. That's why this is bad. That's why they shouldn't. Again, if she's done something bad, awesome. But they have, and I'm going to walk down this road even further here. You can indict anyone. Let me repeat that in case you were concerned. You can indict anyone. If you want to indict someone, they're indicted. That's how it works. The federal government can, there's an old saying, a federal prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich. Literally, that's a saying, because it's true. How it works in New York, you have 24 people. Some of you don't even know what indictment is. The indictment means that a grand jury says this should go to trial. That's what that means. It means a grand jury says this should go to trial. It doesn't mean you're guilty or not. It means there's enough evidence to put it in trial. But you will see constantly what people always do is go, she's been indicted. Can you believe it? Everyone who gets charged gets indicted. Like no one does it. Was it 99.9 repeating percent people who get charged get indicted? That's like, he woke up this morning. Yeah, if you're alive, you wake up in the morning. That's how it works. You wake up because you're alive. That's not impressive. I mean, if you're in a coma, you don't, but that's like, again, 0.00001% of people are in comas. They don't wake up. Everybody else wakes up. Not impressive. That's the equivalent of being indicted. In New York State, 24 people on a grand jury, only 13 have to say yes. Majority. That's it. Between 16 and 24 people on a grand jury, 12. Between 16 and 24 on a grand jury, 12 say yes, indicted. It's a rubber stamp. And to be forward, they haven't indicted her. So it's a rubber stamp and she didn't get indicted. Now you might say, well, Larry, you know her system so well. You know that she might be cooperating with the government. Possible. 100%. That could be true. Maybe she's not being indicted because she's cooperating with the government. Maybe. But if that's true, that will also come out. So wait for that to come out, in which case you may also have a statement. And just because you cooperate with the government doesn't mean you're not guilty. Doesn't mean you are guilty. Doesn't mean you're not going to get charged. You can still be charged with something and cooperate with the government. But your deal was, I was going to get charged with X. Now I'll get charged with Y, and I'll cooperate with the government. And you'll make statements admitting that you've done something or done this or done that. And if that's the case, that will all come out. And if that comes out, you can punish her in some way, shape, or form. That would at least make sense that she has actually done the thing that the government says. The government says lots of things, and it's very often wrong. Often they openly lie. I don't know if Lauren Chen did bad things or not. Maybe, I again don't know her. Maybe she did. Full disclosure, I know Tim Pool. I know Dave Rubin, but the other ones I don't know. Don't know them. No idea. Don't know at all. But maybe she's a bad person. We'll find out, and we don't care. You might go, Larry, it's okay. She'll have her day in court. Hear that also all the time. And I got to walk down here again. If you get indicted by the federal government, here's how it works in reality. You maybe watch a TV show. He's indicted. Okay, he'll go to court. He'll get his day in court. And that's not how it works. Here's the reality of how it works. If you get indicted by the federal government, there's a 98% chance you're going to get convicted. That's how it works. 98%. You're convicted if they indict you. So once you get indicted, you're in trouble. What does that matter? It matters how much evidence they have? No, it doesn't. It matters how much money you have. Money you have. So that matters. If you can write a check for 6 figures or more for your defense, you can maybe get a fair trial. And if you're guilty, you can get fair sentencing. That can happen. That could happen. I might not. You still might just get anyway, right? You can. If you can write a check for 7 figures, now you can surely get a fair trial and you might get off. You might get off if you write a check for 7 figures. I'm not joking on this. If you cannot write a check for 6 figures or 7 figures, you are guilty. Let me repeat that in case you're confused. If you cannot write a check for 6 figures or 7 figures for your defense and the federal government indicts you, you are guilty. It does not matter if you did it or not. That is irrelevant. It does not matter. You're guilty. And savvy people know this, so they just stop pleading. Guilty or not, you are guilty. Plead to the best of your ability. You might go, Larry, why doesn't the system work? Well, it does work, but not the way you would think it is. When you walk in to that courtroom, it is 4-1. The jury thinks you're guilty. Larry, it's not true. The burden of proof is high. If you're a lawyer and you tell me the burden of proof is high, you do not work in criminal justice, because that's stuff they taught you in law school, and you heard that. Yeah, I remember lawyers do this. They go, wait a minute. You don't understand, Larry. The burden of proof in criminal is high. It is not. That's utter garbage. You're a lawyer who does not work in criminal cases. In reality, the second that you are in that courtroom, the jury assumes you're guilty. You have to prove you're not guilty. Not just that the judge assumes you're guilty. Why would a judge? Because a judge is probably a former prosecutor, because most of them are. And everyone they ever see is, again, guilty. So that's it. Prosecutor thinks you're guilty, of course. So you may go, wow, that's 3-1. Here's 4-1. If you have a public defender, he thinks you're guilty too. That's why he's going to plea you, because he thinks you're guilty too. And if you're popular and the press comes in, the press assumes you're guilty. Everyone assumes you're guilty except you. And if you have a lot of money, the lawyer you pay. Otherwise, you're guilty. That's how that works. And it may sound horrible, and it is still true. And then you have lawyers all the time say, we're going to shoot a hole in their case. Doesn't matter. You can shoot a hole in a case all you want. You're still guilty. But Larry, the case is bad. You're still guilty. You can only solve a case in 3 ways, and only 3. And only 3. If someone says, hey, Brian, you killed that guy. If you go, I didn't kill that guy, you are going to prison. You're guilty. Guilty. Just done. 1, you've got to prove that you're not a killer. You're something else. So Brian might go, I'm not a killer. I'm a burglar. Like, I rob people, but I don't kill people. And you might go, oh, they confused him with the other. Okay, so he's a burglar and a robber. You might not go to jail for murder. You might go to jail for robbery, but you're not going to go to jail for murder. That's option 1. Option 2, I didn't kill that guy. Nancy killed that guy. Oh, it was Nancy who, yeah, and here's the evidence that Nancy. And you might go, wait a minute, Larry, you can't do that. You have to. But Larry, that's not how the system works. You don't have to show them another way. You just have to show it's not you. That's not how it actually works. That's the story they tell you and what you see on TV. You better have an answer. That jury better believe Nancy did it, or you're going to jail. Or last, there was no crime. This is a complete error. There was no crime. There was no crime whatsoever. Then you can get off. Those are 3. Those are all very hard. Now, why do I give all this to you? Because I'm showing you something, I hope I am at least. This entire system is built to punish. It's not built to find the truth. It's not built to show value. Our core values are supposed to be in our country that you are innocent unless proven guilty. That government is there to be fair and to protect your rights. None of that is true. None of that is true. That has to change. And it changes at a cultural level. I was on a podcast, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so, I forgot when, and people were saying, well, Larry, what can you do? What can we individually do to make things better in the country? I give them a couple answers. And one of the answers I gave was, you can go on jury duty. Like, what? Yes, go on jury duty. Like, why would I want to go on jury duty? That's a waste of time. Because the people who are going on jury duty are people who think it's not a waste of time. You need to go on jury duty. And when you get there, when the judge tells you, and the judge will tell you this, look, it doesn't matter what you think about the law. If the person's guilty by the law, you must make them guilty. That is a lie. And judges tell you that all the time. You as a jury, it's called jury nullification. You as a juror may say, that's a BS law, not guilty. You absolutely may. That is absolutely legal. And judges lie to you and tell you that. Let me ask you a question. If you go, Larry, it's the law. Okay. What if there was a law? What if there was a law that said if you were, if a 16-year-old was convicted of graffiti, mandatory minimum sentence to death, and you know that, and you see that this kid who's 16 years old did the graffiti. He did. It's true. Would you vote guilty? If you would, you are a horrible human being. So I'm telling you, if you would vote guilty, you are a horrible human being. You are a robot, no better than any horrible person on the planet who's done horrible things. You must go, no, I'm not voting guilty. But he did it. I don't care. I'm not going to be responsible for having the state murder a 16-year-old. No, not guilty. I don't care if you're not guilty. And that's legal, by the way. You can do that. Judges will tell you you can't. They can't. They will tell you you can't. Not just that. For those of you who care, if you do care about this, I did an entire show on how to get on a jury. When you have a moment, if you want to see that show, head back to my YouTube page, look for jury. I did a show on how to get on a jury. So you can get, I've been on a jury twice. So I'm not just sitting here saying this, like making you go and not go. I have been on a jury 2 times. So I go on jury duty. Again, I always tell you this, I cannot point my finger at you unless I point at me first. So I've already done it. You should too if you haven't already. So I'm sorry, I yapped away. But the point I'm trying to bring up here is our entire system is not about protection. It's not about honesty. It's not about finding the right thing. It is about punishment. Punishment. We don't have a justice system. We have a punishment system. And the people who are doing the punishing are actually you and me, because we're the jurors who are putting people in jail, because we're the jurors who are listening to judges who are lying to us, because we're the jurors who are assuming that whatever a prosecutor says is true, even though we're not supposed to. What we're supposed to do is listen to a prosecutor, what they say, and then say, where's the evidence that what you said is true? But we don't do that. We go, oh, cop said it, prosecutor said it, judge said it, must be true. Cops, judges, and prosecutors are human beings like everybody else. They're not better or worse. They're not better or worse. They're the same. They lie too. They make mistakes too. Ask for evidence. We don't do that. I'm asking us as a culture right now, as a culture, not as a court, as a culture, to stop punishing people, in the court of public opinion until we see the evidence. Now, I brought this up yesterday, but I want to bring it up one more time. One more time. I ran against Cuomo in New York State in 2018. A couple years later, as you all probably know or heard, Cuomo was accused of grabbing women's butts or whatever he was doing, that kind of thing. I literally was doing shows like this, and I would not talk about it. I said, I get it. I hear it. I'm not going to pass judgment. And I do not like that man at all. I have said horrible things about him. I do not like him at all. And I said, I'm going to be quiet until it was done. And then investigation was done, and he admitted to stuff, and he resigned. Okay, then I just started hammering him. That was fine. That's fine. He deserved punishment then. But even he deserves due process. And I believe that Lauren Chen, her husband, everyone else deserves due process. If they are guilty, fine, punish them, get rid of them. Because here's the worst part. Again, they can handle it. Lauren Chen has a huge base. She will find a way to make money. No doubt. She'll find a way to make money. No doubt. She will. But what about you, me, somebody else? Somebody else. Terrible. It's not the right answer. It's terrible. So I do want to make sure that we understood that idea. Second piece I want to bring up here is people are saying, Ben, maybe I'll show you a piece. I was thinking about which one I should show you. Let me grab a couple of comments, and then I'm going to show you a bit of a video and explain some pieces that I think are interesting here. They're also attacking people like Tim Pool and Dave Rubin and others. And some of the people, these people weren't actually named. To be clear, they weren't named. Why don't you name the people in your document? You don't name them because you're probably not going to arrest them, not put them in jail, any of those things. So yeah, that's why I didn't name them. Let me grab a couple of super chats if I could. Alexa, thank you for the $10. I appreciate it. I've been waiting to start a channel, Contextually Curious Conversations, talking about how truth is found in the context and talk about the hidden truths under murky headlines of stories just like this. Oh, well, Alexa, please still do that. That's not a bad idea. Please do that. And let me know when, and I'll come on your show and we can have a conversation, Alexa. How about that? So tell me when the show is, reach out to me, and we'll have a nice conversation we'll have a conversation that's contextually curious. How about that? We'll do that. I love the idea. It's a wonderful idea. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. So yeah, let me grab a couple comments and I'm going to go to something else if I could. Dave says, it's too easy to cancel individuals, period. Yes. Yes. But again, it's us. I'm defending Lauren Chen, and I don't know her at all, and she could be bad. I'm not defending her, that's incorrect. I'm defending her, what I believe is her right to due process. That's what I am. I'm trying to defend her right to due process. And this is the point that I used to bring up when I was to run for office. People would say, Larry, why do you defend so many things that don't affect you? Like I defend the vaping industry. I don't vape. I defended the cannabis industry. I do not partake in cannabis in any way, shape, or form. Not at all, nothing. The only drug I use is caffeine. That's the only drug I use, but I defend them. I defended fathers' rights. I didn't go through the court system in New York State. I didn't go through any of that stuff. I don't have an issue with that personally, but I defended them. I defended Second Amendment. I don't own a firearm. I live in New York City. I can't own a firearm. I go to jail. So yeah, so I defend things that don't affect me. Why? Because one day it's going to be me. One day it's going to be something that I need help for. And I would hope people would defend me if I defend them. I would hope so. It's the right thing to do. So I'm defending Lauren Chen's right, in my view, socially, right, to let her have due process. That's all I'm saying. She could be, I don't know, she could be a terrible person. Maybe. She also might be completely innocent. And this could be just the government duping people and trying to beat up on conservatives. Maybe. I don't know that. Let's give it due process and we'll find out. Your point is right on the money. Absolutely true. The anti-capitalist, thank you for becoming a member. Yeah, cancellations can be bad, but that's what happens when you let private corporations just do whatever they want in pursuit of profits. They're waiting for a jury of their peers to convict. Yes, but if we do this right, and we are not, the glory of it being a private corporation is there is some repercussions. If government does it, there's no repercussions. None. Zero. If a corporation does it, there is. We can stop them. We can say no. We can stop it. We can. The problem is we don't. We don't care. We don't do anything. We don't care. We don't do anything. Yes. Peace Logic says, I love Rick and Morty, one of my favorites. Yes, and now gone. And now gone. Absolutely. Mike liked Venture Brothers. Thank you, Mike Voss, also watching. Appreciate that. Pete, my brother, always. The debt, 35 trillion, 345 billion, 572 million, $154,736.15. And as always, as I read it, it went higher. So that number is already too low. 35 trillion already is too low. There's more there already. So yes. So Mike Voss says, Gary, neurotic, was just under a cancel attack based on feelings and made up targeted attack. He prevailed, but it shows how the left try to censor those that say the unapproved. Just happened. It's true. Yes. And again, we have to defend. We have to go, no, don't wait. Don't. It's important, right? To give someone, you and I might both know Gary, right? But say I didn't, right? And I thought he's just some guy. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Everyone deserves it. Everyone does. Sarah says, I got canceled by some farm customers for sharing the Tucker Carlson Casey Means video. I'm in a very blue area. Most farmers are red. Many local organic farmers are religious. Refugees, red. Got canceled by farmers for sharing the Tucker Carlson. I'm in a blue area. Oh, farm customers. Got it. Thank you. Farm customers. I like farmers. I thought farmers like this. Thank you. Took me a couple seconds to get that one, Sarah. Thank you. But it landed. There we go. Yes. I see. Yeah. Yep. Again, right. I get that. I understand that. I wish they would have had a conversation with you. I mean, maybe you guys disagree completely. Maybe they think you're evil and horrible. Maybe. But I shared it, therefore I'm evil, is also too much. I shared it. It should be, hey, Sarah, why'd you share that? And explain your views. And if they hate you because of it, okay, people are free, they can. But they should have at least given you the opportunity to have a conversation. Why'd you share it? Oh, because I believe X, Y, and Z. Oh, that isn't so crazy. Okay, fine. Or no, I think you're nuts or whatever they might think. I'm okay with that. The problem is we don't even bother talking. And then we just start talking about how we're going to crush people. Lynn says, well, I'll be going to the pokey. Yeah, lots of people will. Or you'll be doing what many people do. You'll make a deal, rat on somebody else. And the worst part is one of the cases I was on, somebody was ratting on somebody else. No evidence, but a rat. And they still convicted him. So I go, Lynn, look, I'm not saying you kill that guy, but it looks like you're going away from killing that guy. If you were to tell me that you knew how Brian killed that guy, maybe we could see if Brian might swing for this. And you go, that'll get me off? Did you see Brian do it? Lynn goes, saw him. I was there. I watched him when he did it. Boom. All of a sudden, Brian's now arrested. That happens far more often than you would think. Far more often than you would think. Because in reality, I wanted Brian. I didn't want you, Lynn. I wanted Brian, but I had nothing on Brian. So I arrest Lynn because I can scare her because I got some stuff on her. I don't really want her. I want Brian. So I arrest Lynn, give her some stuff. She gets scared, doesn't want to go to jail because she knows she can't write a check for 7 figures. So she knows, God, I'm going away. And I go, no, you don't have to go away. You can lie on Brian. And note what I said. I didn't say lie. I said, if you saw him, I didn't say lie. She goes, oh, that means lie. And then she lies. Done. One case I was on, woman was blatantly caught lying. In fact, in the same case that was thrown out before, she was convicted of perjury. I'm not joking. Convicted of perjury. So a convicted liar, admitted convicted liar, came on a stand, lied again, jury believed it, and be clear, the jury knew she was a convicted liar. She knew that was allowed to come into this case because there was a separate hearing where she was convicted of perjury. So that was allowed to come into this case because it was directly related to. She had lied about this case. I know something like that's impossible. No. She was a convicted, admitted liar about this case. Jury still believed her. Jury still, what? If you're a juror, what's wrong with you? And they threw away the key anyway. So yes, innocent man went to jail that year. Absolutely. I mean, there's many of them, but that was one I happen to know. So if I do a super chat, thank you, Peace Logic. We could go deeper and talk about free will. Once you realize it doesn't exist, it turns the legal system upside down. See, you're assuming it doesn't. You and Alexa might want to have a conversation. You might want to have a contextually curious conversation. Peace Logic and Alexa. I think we found the host and co-host of your show. Just saying. Maybe. There we go. Maybe. So Morgan said, but that's not how it happens on Law and Order. No, that's not at all how it happens on Law and Order. And that's the point. Boy, does the criminal justice system loves Law and Order. It makes it all look like that. Oh, yeah. And it is not true. Yep, absolutely. Morgan then goes on to say, I got selected for jury duty, but wasn't chosen because I told them the war on drugs was racist. And if you would have watched my video, Morgan, you would not have said that because I discussed exactly how to get on a jury. There are certain things you say and don't say, certain ways you answer questions to ensure you get on the jury. I have a feeling you didn't want to be in a jury, so it probably worked. But next time, I hope you decide you want to be in a jury, and hopefully you'll say what I said, and you will not be on. You'll actually be on the jury. That's what I can hope. So anyway, before we go into more stuff, I do want to bring up this if I could. I couldn't figure out which one of these I want to use. So I found one that I thought was interesting that I want us to use and watch regarding this incident. And to show the smugness and silliness of this and how our culture is broken, I want to use a segment, if I can, from Crystal, Kyle, and Friends. Some of you may know them, some of you may not. I picked them on purpose because they hate all these right-wingers. They can't stand them. They hate all the right-wingers. They would love for all the right-wingers to go away. They can't stand them all. So it's the perfect people to look at and go, what? Oh, my God, it's terrible. It is perfect. So put these if I could. All righty here. Hope you guys can hear it.
Quite a story to discuss. I haven't really talked about it on air since it came out. Saved it up for you and me to talk about it.
This one's very juicy.
And then
look at how happy they are. Can you see the smile on Crystal's face and the glee on her oldest son, Kyle? You can see how happy they are. They're like, yay, we are using the system, lawfare, oh, surprise, to crush our competition. Love it.
There's a lot to say about this. So there's a new DOJ indictment that just came down, and I'll let you take it over from here.
Yeah, so DOJ announced this sweeping like Russian misinformation campaign. Of course, we're all kind of rolling our eyes a little bit, like Russiagate 2.0. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, you were rolling our eyes because you thought it was Russiagate 2.0.
Then they drop one of the indictments and, oh, it's interesting. Let's go.
So why aren't you still rolling your eyes? Because this is against someone who you wanted to be against. That's why.
The tear sheet up on the screen. So effectively, this conservative media company run by Lauren Chen and her husband, Liam Donovan, called Tenant Media, was taking millions of dollars from Russian assets to pay a variety, apparently unbeknownst to them, but to pay Lauren Chen and Liam Donovan, they knew that the money was coming from Russia. The influencers didn't, but to pay this cast of influencers, including Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, and Dave Rubin.
But to be clear on this, they were not indicted. Only the Russian people were indicted. Now, they said an indictment. This is how they spin it. They said an indictment, but then say these people. Chen was not indicted.
In Southern, Taylor Hansen and Matt Christensen were the others in this cast of characters. The indictment claims, I'm reading from this article now, that the personalities on Tenet were not aware of the backgrounds and intentions of the two Russians, and that the funding for this company came through a Canadian shell company from a fake frontman named Edward Gregorian, who did not exist. They go on to say, despite the fact that Google searches for this individual didn't return any hits, two commentators in particular went through with the deal for millions of dollars, $100,000 per video they were receiving from this fake person.
Now, the numbers they bring up are big numbers, right? It was $400,000 a month for 4 videos per month. That's a lot of money. To be forward, that is a lot of money. 400 grand for 4 videos. Oh my God. I make 5 videos a freaking week, right? So, but that's right. That's a lot of money. And of course, better video quality than me. Not as good as mine, obviously. Not as a handsome enough person as me, but that's okay. Whatever. So that's a lot of money. But is it when you're involved in things that are trying to push a political message? No, I don't mean to be cruel, but no. Many of you know that another thing I do is I do political consulting. I raise money for people multiple times. And I mean multiple times. People who know me have seen me do this. I have raised money 5 and 6 figures for political issues, for political causes, for political candidates. So for someone to write a check for 6 figures for a political candidate is not crazy at all. It happens all the time. So while the numbers are big, if it is political, it isn't necessarily that big.
In it, however, they did note that the fake founder may come across as too woke, flagging a commitment to social justice that they found in the fake resume that they put out. So the details here are absolutely incredible. We can put this next piece up on the screen from the indictment. So apparently, initially, they reached out to commentator 1 and 2. One of these individuals is definitely Tim Pool. The other one is either Benny Johnson or Dave Rubin. The indictment doesn't say their names. It just says their YouTube.
Again, the indictment, which is not of them, doesn't say their name, yet we've smeared all these people.
Subscriber numbers.
Didn't they both release statements on it?
They both released statements.
And they're both
Tim
with
Pool,
Tenant Media?
Yes.
Okay.
Tim Pool, Rubin, and Benny Johnson all put out statements. And by the way, and again, they're not indicted. The 2 Russian nationals are indicted. And I would think that Lauren Chen and Liam Donovan, they're not indicted, but I would think they might be in some legal jeopardy from this because those 2 actually knew that this was all fake.
Did they know?
They were referring to these individuals that they were getting the money from as quote unquote the Russians. And they were Googling things like, when they couldn't get in touch with them, what time is it in Moscow? Things.
So she's laughing at that. They were Googling things like what time it is in Moscow. How did they know that? How did they know that? Because Google gave the FBI all of their information. Why the hell are you laughing at that, you moron? You and your older son, Kyle, should probably stop that. Why are you laughing at the fact that the FBI went in and got all the Google searches? Ha ha ha, so funny, until it's you. It's all laughs, it's all fun and games until it's you. What if this was not a big deal? What if they found out they were wrong on this? Well, they still got all of that data, didn't they? They still were able to just go there and say, hey, I think it's wrong. Give me all the data, Google. And Google said, there it is. Take it all. Take everything. How'd they know that? Why are you laughing at that? Showing that our privacy does not exist. That the government will just take everything. And they will look through. Here's what I know. The government does this literally. They will take whatever Google search you have, show them, black out what they don't want you to see, show what they want, and show that to a jury. That's literally what they do. I've watched them do it more than once. Yeah, keep laughing.
Like that. So they clearly knew what was going on, allegedly, according to the DOJ.
Oh, look how this, allegedly, according to DOJ. No, you know that's what they're going to say. But this means it's true.
And according to the DOJ, these individuals were classic useful idiots. They were offered this deal to get paid $400,000 a month in exchange for 4 videos.
Good deal.
And apparently didn't raise any eyebrows or questions about like, who are these people and what do they actually want, since on no planet is this like an actually economically sensible situation.
And we should be clear, this is what's called a FARA violation, F-A-R-A.
Yes.
And what that means is if you have foreign governments giving money in the U.S., you kind of have to register as an...
So this is a FARA violation. So if an American gives you $400,000 for 4 videos, that's fine. But if someone who's a Russian national does it, now all of a sudden you're a felon. I'm not saying that's wrong or not, but what's the difference? So I take the citizenship test. I'm now an American citizen. Here's 400 grand. Please pump out my propaganda. Okay. I literally know people, and some of you who are on campaigns know people who give tens of thousands of dollars to politicians to pump out their propaganda. The difference is we know. Make it. If this violation was that, we're putting out propaganda, we don't know who it is. Okay. That's not it. It's because it's foreign.
Agent of said government for full disclosure and transparency,
yes.
Correct?
Yes. And so the 2 Russian nationals that they indicted here are employees of RT, and they adopted pseudonyms and were actually put into the producer Discord, helping to guide the content that was created. So they were using fake names, fake alias.
Yeah, look, if you're working for me and I'm saying, hey, Sarah, and you're working with Alexa now and you guys have a new show and Sarah now is working for you. And I say, hey, here's $5,000 a month. I want you to pump my show on Sarah's show, put out, stuff that I would use my own name. I'd say, it's Larry Sharpe. Hey, Sarah, here's 3 videos. Please put them out because we have an agreement that I'm sponsoring Alexa's new show and I want to support it. So put it out. I wouldn't use this. I wouldn't go, it's Shari Larp. I wouldn't do that. I would say, it's Larry Sharpe. I paid you because I'm sponsoring, please put the videos up. And Sarah would be like, okay, you paid me, I'll put the videos up. That would be the norm.
When they were communicating with Tim Pool and Benny Johnson and their producers and all of this. We could put the next piece up on the screen, and they have specific examples in the indictment of the type of content that they were pushing. I'll read you from the indictment. They say, on or about February 15, 2024, one of the Russian nationals who was using this pseudonym Helena Shudra shared with Tenet Media a video of a well-known U.S. political commentator visiting a grocery store in Russia.
Tucker
of course,
Carlson.
We all know that would be Tucker Carlson. The Russian national posted the video in the producer Discord channel. Later that day, another producer, an actual producer on the channel, messaged Founder 2 on Discord, Founder 2 being Lauren Chen, and says they want me to post this, referencing the Tucker Carlson grocery video.
Now, here's the other problem. How'd they get in Discord? My assumption is they went to one of these producers, threatened them. I'm not joking. They probably went and threatened them and said, hey, you're part of this scheme for Russian blah, 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 where you could go to jail for 40,000 years and we could arrest your kids. And they said, oh, they do that. Because, by the way, prosecutors and cops can lie. That is legal. Again, not joking. It is absolutely legal for cops and prosecutors to lie to you. 100% valid. They can lie to you. You may not lie to them. If you lie to them, that's a crime in itself. So even if you didn't do anything, if you lie to them, you are guilty of a crime because you lied to them. They may lie to you, totally okay. Even if you respond to their lie with a lie of your own, they are not guilty of anything. You are now a felon. That's how the world actually works. So they probably went to them and said, we'll put you in jail for 40,000 years. We'll arrest your family. We'll shoot your dog. Well, they actually do shoot dogs. But anyway, they would say all those things, right? They would say these things. The producer said, I don't know. What do you want? They said, well, if you give us access to the Discord server, maybe Wendy will take it all. That's probably what happened. That happens all the time. All the time. I'm not saying Chen is innocent. No, I'm not saying Tim Pool's innocent. I don't know. What I'm saying is I don't automatically believe the government ever. That's what I'm saying. I never automatically believe the government. I always want to look at things and wonder how, why, what happened, who was coerced. That's what I want.
And saying effectively, it seems like it's overt shilling. It just feels like overt shilling. Lauren Chen comes back and says, no, we think we should put it out there. And the producer agrees, saying, okay, fine, we'll put it out tomorrow. So they push them to post the Tucker Carlson grocery store video, which even these, Tim Pool or Benny Johnson or whoever, this producer was like, this feels a little over the top. But ultimately they did it. There's another example we can give you here too of how they were trying to shape coverage. Put this next one up on the screen, A4. They wanted either Dave Rubin or Benny Johnson here, whoever it was, to focus on alleging that it was Ukraine behind the ISIS Moscow terror attack. And again,
so I guess I just want to bring this up to you. So what that was all about, right? I think Crystal and her son Kyle, oldest son Kyle. I think that's the critical piece I want you to see. They're laughing about it, gleeful. Put them all away. What happens when it's her? What happens when it's him? What happens when someone accuses Kyle of doing something, touching something he shouldn't touch? What happens when that happens and they decide to cancel his show? What happens when they accuse Crystal of taking money from somebody and all of a sudden nobody wants to watch Breaking Point, take Breaking Points off all of a sudden? What happens then? Then you're going to giggle and laugh? What happens when one of your producers turns on you because they're scared and your producer gives up all your details that everyone can see and they leak? And now you can see all the people you talked to, all the stuff you did, and you're not even guilty. How about that? This stuff's not okay. Due process matters, and we're throwing it away so we can get headlines. That's it. Morgan, sorry, says, I just be corrupt as a system if I have to lie to be given a voice. No, I'd rather not speak. Watch the video. I say very openly, and I will say it always, if you are ever in jury selection, never lie. Never lie. I give you ways to answer a question, which is not lying. I agree completely with you, Morgan. Do not lie. Lying is a terrible idea, particularly in court. Do not lie. But there are ways to answer a question which are not lying, which can still get that done, and you can still get on a jury if you want to. Maybe you don't want to be in a jury. I think guys like you, Morgan, should be on a jury because you protect somebody against stupid stuff. Like, for an example, I'll give you an example what you can do as a juror. Some guy robs somebody, right? Mike robs Missy, right? So Mike shows up. He's got a gun. He says, Missy, give me your wallet. Missy goes, oh, my God, yes. She gets scared, gives him the wallet. He goes, yeah, dummy, and he walks off, right? Okay, that's crime. So he gets arrested, and they charge him with robbery. He did. But they also charge him with a hate crime because he insulted us, so now it's a hate crime. And now they also charge him with having the gun, possession. Well, in my view, and I don't know how you feel, I don't think the hate crime matters. He robbed her. That's a crime. And also, they had a gun. I don't give it a gun or a knife. I don't care what he had. Doesn't matter to me. And that's me personally. So I'd vote not guilty on those two and just put him away for robbery. Why would I do that? That lets everybody know. If I could convince the jury to do so, I totally would do it if I could convince them to do it. That everyone know. Stop charging people with random crimes to scare them and put them away longer. Now, here's the problem. If Mike is wealthy, then he will have a top-notch team of lawyers who would already fight that indictment down and take the charges away, and he would only admit to the robbery piece only, because that's what he really did. So if he has a good team, he'll only admit to the robbery. He will plead out and get a lower sentence on the robbery charge. That's why you pay the six figures to get that. That's the reason you pay the six figures. That you only get what you actually did, not all the extra stuff they tack on, and you lowest price possible, and you just go pay your debt. That's what, when you have $100,000, you can do that. $200,000, you can do that. What if Mike is broke? Mike can't afford that. He's going to get a public defender, if that, who's going to have, I'm not joking, over 100 cases. I wish I was joking. He will have over 100 cases will not be able to take the time and energy to help out Mike well at all, and will not knock down those charges. He'll get all 3 charges and max out on all of them. Yes. What happens if Mike's actually innocent? And it wasn't Mike. It really wasn't. It was James. He just happened to be wearing, the same clothes Mike was wearing that night. If Mike has a public defender, he's guilty. He's going to jail. Doesn't matter if it's him or not. He has an expensive team. They find James. And that becomes who we talk about. And Mike has a chance of winning it. Or this sometimes happens too. If the case is strong against Mike and they think they're still going to lose in court because juries just decide guilt, they'll say, look, we know it was James. You know it was James. And you might go, wait a minute, Larry. If the prosecutor knows it's James, he'll drop the charges on Mike and arrest James. No. And also, as you don't know, prosecutors are under no obligation to do so legally. None. In fact, they have qualified immunity. If they do it, they're not guilty. You can't even sue them. Yes. So literally, this happens all the time. Mike goes away for 6 years. 3 years later, they found that it was James, and they get him, and they arrest James for that crime or some other crime, whatever. They arrest him. They're not required to let Mike out. You make a lot of sounds crazy. Yeah, not required. If Mike doesn't have a lawyer on his side who's following and doing this, then when they arrest James, the public defender someplace else doesn't know. His case is forgotten. James does 6 years for a crime he didn't commit, and then Mike does 6 years for a crime he didn't commit, and they still put James away too. Why? More convictions for the prosecutor. Yay! Now again, if Mike has the 6 figures, he gets a lower sentence. Then they find James. Mike has a team of lawyers who then immediately petition to get Mike out of jail. Mike gets out of jail. Why? Because he has money. Boy, does this system suck. Boy, does this system suck. That's how that actually works. So, boy, sometimes I can be a downer, I know, but I hope I'm at least letting you guys know what's happening, why these things happen all the time, why you see it happen so often. So, yes. Lila says, jury selection can occasionally be serendipity. That's when both lawyers are drunk off their asses. Very nice. That is good. Very nice. She goes on to say, it's easy to not care. Yes. 100%. Yes. I wish that wasn't true, but you are right. Guys, before I keep moving, I have a bunch of comments they want to grab. Remember, if you like what I'm doing, if you appreciate it, Alexa said she does. Listen to her. She's right. I need you to take your left thumb and with your left thumb, click the button that is like. With your left thumb. Larry, I don't have a left thumb. I lost my arm in a war. Okay, then use your right thumb. I don't care, but use your nose, use your ear, bite it. I don't care, whatever. Somehow touch the button that is like, that makes it click like. That's what I want. Do that. Use whatever appendage you feel appropriate because that's how I move forward. I'm always canceled. You know it. I don't want to be canceled. So please do this. Please do this. Also, if you're watching on Twitter or on Facebook, you can share it. It does matter. Cool Friday night. I appreciate it. If you have not subscribed, if you're watching on YouTube, why have you not subscribed? Do you want me to go to jail? Do you? That's what you're asking for. If you're watching on YouTube and you have not subscribed, you are literally saying, Larry, go to jail. That's what you're saying. That's how I'm taking it. If you do want to be super cool and super chat me on YouTube, you can. You also become a member. Thank you for all the members who keep helping me to do this. If you notice, as you guys keep putting in members, I keep doing more. I'm trying to give you more and more and more. Click that join button on YouTube. It's $49 a month, and it keeps me going so I can spend more time doing this and less time getting my heart broken watching innocent people go to jail. And an aside, the first time I watched an innocent man go to jail, I was horribly depressed. I actually blamed myself. I thought I didn't do enough. I thought I failed him. I cannot imagine how public defenders, how they can live with this pain. I hardly ever do it anymore. Why? I'm empathetic. And you might go, Larry, how do you know you didn't do it? I'm on the defense team. I don't work for the government. I work only for the defense team. So I would never help the government put money in jail because the government has all the resources in the world. Why? They don't need me. But I do try to help. And your defense team, the guys tell you everything. They tell you everything. Like everything. You're the defense team. So I know when people are guilty and when they're not guilty, right? You might go, Larry, you want to get guilty people off? No, I want guilty people to get fair sentencing. That's what I want. I want a guilty person to get fair sentencing. The reality of it is most people get convicted And if you're guilty, you get convicted. I mean, the odds of you being guilty and not getting convicted if you're guilty are astronomical. Our system completely overcompensates on people getting convicted. I mean, way overcompensates on people getting convicted. It's not even close. I mean, it's insane. There's far more people who are in jail innocent than who did a crime and who are out. I mean, by leaps and bounds. So I'm not worried about that. If you're guilty, I want fair sentencing. You did something wrong, pay that price, not 45 more prices because some prosecutor wants to be a tough guy. Now, and if you're not guilty, I want you to get off, of course. Or if it's a BS crime, then I want you off also if it's a BS crime. And it's a whole lot of BS crimes. So if it's a BS crime, I want you off. If you didn't do it, I want you off. If you did it, I want fair sentencing. That's why I do what I do sometimes. But boy, when you watch I've watched more than one innocent person go to jail. And when you watch it, it is soul crushing. But it made me angry and why I still want to go on juries again. Like, I'm bad this way. When I read in 2018, I had no idea how bad the system was. And when I saw how horrible it was, I didn't go, I can't go back. I said, I'm going to go back again. I'm stupid. And when I saw how bad the jury system was, I was like, I'm going to go back and fix it again because I'm stupid. And I did it again. And now I think I've learned my lesson on that one, but I might go back. I don't know. I'm insane. It's fine. I'm insane here to show you my insanity. See, so you get some benefit out of this. Anyway, there we go. So John says, Larry, as always, I think you were spot on. I'm thinking we need a due process campaign throughout social media. Yes, that should be the norm. If we change our culture, right? If we change our culture and just say, all I'm saying is give the people due process. I'm not saying she's innocent. I'm not saying she's guilty. I don't know. We don't know. Why are you all of a sudden? Because this is the problem with this. When you start doing this, we believe, yeah, get that Lauren Chen because I don't like her. That'll teach her, knock her down a peg. Oh, I get the emotion. If you don't like her, I get the emotion. But you can, if she's guilty, you can still get that emotion when they convict her. And you can still do your dance that you got him, whatever. You can still do it. But if you get her now and like you saw Crystal and her oldest son, Kyle, when you saw those two giggling and laughing, ha, 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 when she's not even indicted, you're next. You think the system likes you or cares about you. It doesn't. When you're in the way, you're next. The criminal justice system is a massive machine of despair and destruction, which needs to be fed. And it will feed on anything that you put in it. It doesn't matter who you are. You shove more bodies in that machine, and it'll just keep despair and destruction is what it does. That's it. All righty, so I can grab this here. Mike says, since 1980, the presidential candidate has one where their VP's first name is earlier in the alphabet than their opponent. Since JD comes before Tim, Trump wins. That makes total sense. I'm going to stop doing this show. Mike, you're up. I'm kidding. That's actually kind of funny. I do like that. That's kind of funny. I wonder if it'll work this time. I wonder if that will be the way that we find this. Maybe. So, all righty. Let's see if I can go down here. Let's see. Tanner says, hey, Larry, did you see RFK Jr.'s email from this morning saying to vote Trump even in non-battleground states? Curious on your thoughts on it during the stream, even though it's off topic. I brought it up yesterday, and I'll bring it up again. I don't care. Don't care. We need to have a third-party movement. I bring it up all the time. It's what matters. It is what matters. And I'm going to tell you something that some of you didn't realize from last night. If the Trump team was only about Trump and could figure this out, and they can't. They would never do this because they all care about the system too. What they should have done is pull Trump off the ballot. I'm not joking. In New York, in Washington, Illinois, and California. Pull him off the ballot. Larry, why would you do that? If you pull him off the ballot, pull Trump off the ballot in Hawaii, pull him off in those states, the deep blue states, pull him off. So he's not on the ballot. Take him off the ballot. Republicans could have done it if they wanted to. Say, we're not going to run him in those states. That's crazy. No, it isn't. Then it would have been Harris against Kennedy in those states. Kennedy would have won a couple of those states. Two-way race, Kennedy-Harris in those states, Kennedy wins a couple. If Kennedy wins, Kennedy's from California and from New York, so he's been living, those two states. He wins either one of those, Harris can't win the election. Takes the state away from him. Takes the state away from her. She can't win the election. Harris cannot win the election without New York and California. If Kennedy would take either of those two, she loses the election. She can't win without it. That's the right move. Why wouldn't they? You might go, well, Larry, they must know that. First of all, they would never even imagine that. They don't understand how that works. That's not a thing. They don't think about that. I think that way because I'm an independent. I'm independent in my mindset. I understand how the system works. That's what I would have done if it's me. If I see it happening, I would just do it. It's already happening in Nebraska. The Democrats don't even run anybody anymore. Utah, they don't run anybody anymore. I'm not even joking, and I mean for the statewide elections, right? In Utah last cycle, there was no Democrat who ran for Senate. No Democrat ran. Independent ran because there was no Democrat. They said, we can't raise money. We can't raise money, so we can't run a candidate because it's 4-1 Republicans, Democrat. Nebraska this cycle. They don't run anybody. In Kentucky, Thomas Massey is running unopposed. No one's running against him. Why bother? You can't raise money, right? At one point, the California GOP won't be able to raise any money in the statewide election. New York State will not be able to raise enough. Democrats won't be able to raise money in an election. Stop running presidential candidates there. Let the independents go in and tear up everybody. That makes the most sense, but they won't. Two reasons. One, they do not want an independent making any headway whatsoever. And two, they still think they don't want independent making headway because that destroys their entire system. And the system's more important than anybody. Second piece, they want to make sure that they can still grift enough people out of New York and California, Republicans, to give them money for an utterly lost cause. So, yeah, my response to this is I don't care. If you are in a non-swing state, look, if you're in a swing state and you care about Harris or Trump, I get it. Vote for whichever one you think is appropriate. I understand that. I do. I get your logic if you feel that. If you're not in a swing state, why would you not vote for Bobby Kennedy Jr.? Why wouldn't you? If you don't care, right? Why wouldn't you? Well, Larry, I want Trump or I want Harris. So what? Doesn't matter. New York State goes to Harris. Oklahoma goes to Trump. It is irrelevant. Why would you waste your time? That's a wasted vote. But if you put your vote towards Bobby Kennedy Jr., well, you move towards the 5%. We need 8 million votes to make the party that we need. 8 million votes to get the matching funds. 8 million. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It doesn't matter what state. It doesn't matter what party. If it's for Bobby Kennedy Jr., it counts. So it matters. So if you live in California, New York, why would you vote? The story is he has to have a landslide. Utter garbage. Means nothing. Nobody cares. That's propaganda garbage to raise money. That's all. No one's going to be like, well, he won by 300,000 votes, so he's extra president. That's not a thing. It's not a thing. He's super president. Why? Because he won by more points. Nobody cares. Doesn't matter. He wins or he loses. You don't get extra points for extra whatever. Irrelevant. That's just garbage, they say. Well, he'll have a mandate. He will not have a mandate. It's a lie. That's garbage. None of that's true. It's stuff they make up to get you to raise money, stuff they make up to motivate you to vote for him. All garbage, means nothing. Whoever wins at the end of the day is the president, regardless of whether it's by 1 vote or 1 billion votes. I mean, we know something's fishy if it's 1 billion votes, but it's not matter. So that's my thoughts. I hope I was clear with that. Don't listen to any of that stuff. It means nothing. They're just saying stuff because they want to raise money or they want to do something. It means nothing. So yes. James goes to Mike. He says, North Carolina is probably going to Trump anyways. So why do I waste my vote on Trump or Harris when I can vote for someone else and make more impact like ballot access? James is correct, Tanner. James is correct. It is irrelevant. Yes. And Michael's going to say, James in North Carolina is not a wasted vote. I'm in New York. Trust me. That's a wasted vote. Not wrong. Yes. Not wrong. Absolutely. Yes. That was actually pretty good. I do like that one. Let me grab a couple more if I could. All righty. I hope that was interesting, by the way, the thing I was talking about. It's a little bit of details here, but anyway. Mike says, cancel culture is a form of coercion. There is no debate, proof, or defense. A mob, justified by virtue signal feelings, almost always forces their will to ensure masses will comply to avoid shame. I think he means shame, but yes. Agreed. And I'll go one step further. What winds up happening, which is the worst part of this, Mike, I'm with you, and I'm going to go further, which is what winds up happening eventually is self-censorship. That's the worst part. Now we self-censor. I have to do it here. I can't say certain words. Mike, you know that's why you're on Rumble. That's why we do it, because we can't say, we have to self-censor. That's the worst part. So now I can't say the words because I get trashed. Yes. So I have to self-censor. Yes. So Morgan says, apathy is contagious. So true. There's an old saying in business, I don't know if it's actually true, but I've heard it in business training and coaching. We talk about the idea of you will be as successful as your top 5 friends. You will make as much money as the average of your top 5 friends. You'll be as happy as the average of your top 5 friends. I don't know if that's accurate, right? I don't know if that's true. I have no data. It's a saying. And I think it comes because people know what you're talking about, Morgan, is that it is contagious. The people you're around, right? The people you talk to, the people you listen to will affect how you think. I hope as I dive deep down a lot of these rabbit holes that the people who are listening and watching go, and before you know it, you'll think the same way. You're like, yep, that's how, I see that rabbit hole. Oh, I saw that rabbit hole. And then before I say anything, you're like, Larry, I'm there. I went down that hole like last week. Too late, right? I'm hoping that starts happening. You're like, too late, Larry. Been there already. Where you been? That'll be next. Yes. Phil goes one step forward. He says canceling is a mild form of torture. Damn. See, you said coercion, Mike. Phil's like, that's for chumps. He's talking about torture. I'm sure as a Marine, they told you that torture doesn't get you intelligence. Yep. It gets you compliance. Yes. Oh, Phil, look at you, killing it. Man, my chat is smart. It gets compliance, and people will say whatever they think the violent people in control of the situation want to hear. Yes, yes, and yes. That goes back to the thing I mentioned the other day. When you demand perfection, you get deception. Exactly correct. You will tell me the thing. And boy, but it isn't the thing. It is now. Yes. Alexa says, remember how I told you I got 3 possession charges without ever once being caught with drugs? Yes. Yep. Well, I was given a chance to tell them what I knew, and the choice between that or going to jail. Ooh, so exactly what I talked about. Yes, Alexa. Exactly what I talked about. And the look at that. Propaganda. Yes, yes, and yes. 100% yes. And Alexa, I want to say thank you. And I mean this sincerely for bringing up these types of things, right? You don't have to, but you are sharing yourself with others. And here's what I promise you. This show over the course of 8 platforms will get thousands of views. There are people who have the same problem you had the same situation you had. And when you say this, it makes them feel better. It makes them want to open up, and it makes us have a better community. I have shared many times. My mother was a felon. I share all the time. When people ask, I bring it up. I tell them she was an addict. It's true. I bring it up because all of us have addiction in our family, whether it's you or someone we know or love, because it's rampant throughout our country, some form of addiction, we have it. And we shouldn't want to hide it. We should try to fix it, make it better. Talk about a lot of people have criminal records. Yep. And we got to fix it. I was talking today. I was in a meeting with another political people. I don't want to say who it was, but political people. It's about 2 things that were everywhere. One was the idea, the concept of families who have someone who's on a spectrum, and how challenging that can be. And there were 4 of us at a table, and all 4 of us had someone on a spectrum in their family. For me, it's my niece. For someone else, it was other people, but they all had somebody in their family who had somebody on a spectrum. And that we should talk about that. It affects families, right? It can be much depending on how much they can, function, depending on being on the spectrum, how much they can function. It affects families differently, and sometimes harshly, sometimes very harshly, sometimes not. Depends on your situation. But yeah, and not just that. We talking about felons, and one guy was talking about how a guy got on his team. A guy was found out that he had a felony conviction. Oh my God, the world's going to end. What do we do? And he's like, it's tough. And I was like, I was savvy. I just hired felons for like half my crew in 2018. So they were already felons. So it's fine. Like someone comes and goes, Larry, it's a felon. There's like 9. What are you talking about? I got tons of them. It's true. I actually had a bunch of felons on my team. I didn't care. So good. I gave you a chance. You'll be more loyal to me. Oh, good. And so what? Are you currently a felon? I'm like, are you doing this stuff now? Okay, we're good. Doesn't matter. And it also made me immune. All right, that kind of thing made me immune to canceling. If someone says we found out you have a felon, only one you found. Well, you guys suck. There's 6 more. What happened to you? You guys are terrible at your job. You should have found like 8. And I think that helped tremendously. So I'm saying this because this affects every single family in America in some way, shape, or form. So thank you for bringing that up. It does make things better. So anyway, and by the way, people are liking your idea. Sarah says, I love your idea. Look at you. You are rocking it. I love that. All righty. Let me see if I can grab a couple of these. Oh, no, Phil. Springtime for Kyle in Germany. I got that. Yes. You saw that? Yes, absolutely. I saw that. Yes. 100%. 100%. Phil says, not everyone can live off her ex-husband's millions like Crystal and Oedipus. You call him Oedipus. Okay, I'll buy that. I like that, Phil. Oedipus. I may start doing that. You know what? You guys have absolutely given me some gold that I have stolen. I may take this one too, Phil. That's a good one. Might give you credit. Could you? Probably not. But I might give you credit for this one. That's good. Yes, absolutely. I do like that. Sarah says, Larry, can you talk about the relationship between free speech, censorship, and cancel culture? And how worried are you about Brazil, X, and K threatening Musk to be careful? I am insanely concerned, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this show, to bring it up. I try to do things, if I can, lightheartedly, with fun and stories, and I try to. But this is a very big deal. And there's a reason why the First Amendment is first. I know people joke about this, but it's true. The First Amendment is first because without it, nothing else matters. Let me say it again. Without the First Amendment, nothing else matters. It's all irrelevant if we don't have a First Amendment. A First Amendment is not just free speech. It is free speech, but it's also the freedom of association. So once you start attacking First Amendment, you don't just attach freedom of speech, you also attack freedom of association and freedom of religion. Yes, absolutely. Freedom to petition. Yes. Petition your government. Yes. All these things are all sitting here in the First Amendment. Without the First Amendment, we don't have a country, nothing matters. That's why the Second Amendment is what it is. The Second Amendment, I don't want to get, is about long-range hole punchers, is what that one's about. Long-range hole punchers is about those. And that's to protect the first. So the second is to protect the first. That's why they're there. Without that, the rest is nothing. Who cares? So yes, I am very concerned. And the problem is, remember something. What is the biggest problem with any group of people that will make everyone else be in trouble? It's fear. Afraid Americans have given us everything we hate. Afraid Americans give us the war on drugs, the war on poverty, the war on terror, the war on all the things. It's because I'm afraid. Since I'm afraid, government, please take away my rights and give me safety. Now, while I can't stand that, I'd understand it if you actually got the safety. You don't. You just lose the freedom and you don't even get safety. If you at least got safety, at least I could understand it. I mean, I would disagree with it, but I could get it. Okay, I gave my freedom away and now I'm safe. All right, I don't like it, but I get it. But I gave my freedom away and I'm still in trouble. Well, what are you going to do? Give more freedom away? No, that's how you got here in the first place. Don't give the freedom away. You might be safer. So the example I'll give you is one of the most Second Amendment friendly states in the entire nation is New Hampshire and has the lowest crime rate. Could be coincidence. Could be. Probably not. So anyway, I do think it's a problem. And here's the next thing. Why does Brazil matter? Like, oh, Larry, what do I care? It's Brazil. I don't care. Here's the reason why. As I was talking earlier about Alexa and her telling her story, right? Telling her story about her issues makes it open. We can talk about it. It's okay if that makes any sense, right? The more we talk about it. The more countries like Brazil ban things, the more that becomes okay. The more that becomes normal. The more Harris threatens people, the more that becomes okay. The more that becomes fine. And here's the problem. If she threatens Musk and arrests him and he goes to a jury, the judges will want him to go to jail because he's guilty. Prosecutor want him to go to jail because he's guilty. Right? The press will want him to go to jail. Oh my God, they will, because he's guilty. And so will the jury. What is the only way we save someone like him? The jury. Now, what if Musk does something bad? Again, no worries. If he does something wrong, convict him on that. But don't convict him on the BS. Saying scary things, whatever that law will be. He said scary stuff, or he allowed scary stuff. They'll probably call it wire fraud and conspiracy is what I assume they would say, which, by the way, both of those aren't crimes. I mean, they're crimes, but they're all BS crimes. Those are crimes I would never. By the way, here's how wire fraud works. Sarah, this is your fault. I go down this rabbit hole. This one's your fault. All right. Wire fraud. Wire fraud's not really a crime. I mean, they say it is, so it is a physical, but it's not. Wire fraud, is there such thing as knife murder? No, it's murder. Is there such thing as, bat killing? No, it's just killing, right? That's what it is. So why would wire fraud? It's just fraud, right? Fraud is a crime. Agreed. Fraud is a crime. No doubt. No, not fighting you on that. Fraud's a crime. What's wire fraud? Wire fraud means that somehow the feds can get involved. And I'm going to give you a true story. Not making this up. Guy I know supposedly commits a crime. I was on his case too, sadly. Suppose he commits a crime. He does something that is absolutely legal in New York City. New York City are illegal. He does something that same thing he did in New York City was also legal in New York State. So in New York State, the action he committed was absolutely legal. Others had done it. In New York City, absolutely legal. Others had done it. He did this thing in one county in New York City, in Queens. Everyone he talked to was in Queens. Everyone he dealt with was in Queens. Every action he took was in Queens. And it was legal in Queens and New York State. So why would he go to jail? Because the feds wanted him. So they targeted him. I'm not making this up. It's absolutely true. They targeted him. Well, how can they? How can the feds get involved? Well, because while he was doing this act, again, legal in New York City, legal in New York State, but illegal federally, the Fed said he used his cell phone. Cell phone? Yeah. So, well, there's a chance, I'm not making this up, it's true, there's a chance that the signal from his cell phone might have bounced off of a tower in another state, in maybe Connecticut or Jersey. And since it might have done that, that crosses state lines. So what he did is now technically wire fraud. He was convicted of 10 years. I'm not joking. 10 years conviction. Felon. Was a lawyer. Lost his license, obviously, because now he's a felon. 10 years. Why? Because he used a cell phone. That's the feds making up crimes. People think, Larry, are you anti-law enforcement? No, I'm not. My father was in law enforcement. I'm anti-FBI. The FBI just makes stuff up all the time. All the time. All the time. I'm not anti-law enforcement. Local cops do most of the business that needs to be done in cities, and FBI makes stuff up. Another one. They said, let's target him. Let's use that. So again, I want to be clear. Imagine you do something, whatever that thing is. You trade something. Legal in your city, legal in your state, and you know it's legal in your city and legal in your state. Use a cell phone. Cops come, put you in jail, lose your livelihood, 10 years gone. So am I concerned, Sarah? Yes, I am, because that becomes normal. And it's all fun and games until it's you or someone you love. What happens when it's your son, your daughter, your dad, your mom, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your brother, your sister, and all of a sudden now they're gone? Why? Because this becomes the norm. We should be fighting against this. But again, we cannot change the laws. Remember something. We don't have a democracy. I'm not joking again. We don't have one. How do we know this? We're talking now about voting only in swing states because those are the only people who have any say in their government. Clearly, we don't have a democracy. So we cannot change the laws. It is impossible. They cannot be changed. Why would they be? We don't have a democracy. We can't do anything. I've already told you all. If you hire by voting, assuming that you get a vote in your area, it's not gerrymandered, assuming you could actually find someone worthy of being your representative, get around the insanely bad, horrible ballot access party system, get past the party bosses who decide everything, don't have a gerrymandered district, assuming all that's true, almost non-existent, but assume it's true, and you get the person in, and they now go to DC, they cannot propose anything to pass or change the law unless the leadership of that current party who's in charge allows them to. That is the way it works now. So we don't have a democracy, Sarah, so I can't change the law. It's physically impossible. I can't do it. Not going to happen. So the law can't be changed, and you can't win an election to be an executive and just stop it because, again, that system against it doesn't matter. We have no say in that either. So we don't have a democracy. So I can't change the law. All I can change is culture. That's it. That's it. Our executives have failed us. Our legislative branch have failed us. Our judges are a goddamn joke. They have completely failed us. Totally, except for some in the upper echelons aren't bad. All the rest have utterly failed us. The only thing we have left is juries and culture. That's all we got. Or we have to resort to what I don't want us to resort to. I don't want to resort to that. But that's another issue. So am I concerned? 100% yes. It is one of the worst. That's the kind of thing that starts things a whole lot worse. So yes. The Anti-Cobra says, her husband, Kyle? Phil had a name, which was Oedipus. Mine was her older son. You say what you want. Is that really her husband? I believe you. Looking at that, I'm just saying, hold on. Let me see if I could. You tell me, anti-corporatist. You tell me. Hold on. Just so you're aware. You tell me. Is that her husband? Is that Oedipus? Or is that her oldest son? Looks like oldest son. Perhaps I'm incorrect. Perhaps that is husband. Yes, I'm teasing. I'm teasing because they're being terrible in the way they're laughing and joking about this. And makes me angry. That's why I'm teasing. So I hope that makes sense. So in any case, alrighty. Mike says, how much money does Joy Reid or Rachel Maddow get per episode to push, CNN, MSC, Dem propaganda? They get paid a lot. Rachel Maddow, whether you like Rachel Maddow or not, she is absolutely a talented broadcaster. No doubt. She's one of the only people on those shows, on those stations, who could actually go out on her own and do something, right? Fox had Tucker. Tucker obviously could and did go out on his own and could do something. A lot of those Fox people couldn't. If they left Fox, they're in trouble, right? Obviously, Tucker could. MSNBC the same, right? You see with Don Lemon, who left CNN. Now he's got to sue people. He's got to sue Musk because he can't make any cash. So he's in trouble, right? Because without CNN, he's nothing. Joy Reid, same thing. Joy Reid's terrible. She's a horrible human being. She's just terrible. If she leaves, she can't make any money either. But Rachel Maddow, like her or not, is a talented broadcaster. And that's why she left and came back and she does her own stuff. People love her. If you're on the left, you probably love Rachel Maddow. She's a talented broadcaster. People love her. I always give credit where credit is due. I clearly disagree with many of her views. Obviously, you know who I am. But I can't not recognize the talent that Rachel has. She is a talented broadcaster. People love her and follow her. She does podcasts on stuff that's like, let me do a podcast on chickens, and millions will listen. They love her. So she's a talented podcaster. She gets paid a lot. Talented broadcaster, to include podcaster. So she gets paid a lot, but she actually earns it. The rest of them, they're just people who are prepared to read. That's it. They're people who are prepared to read. That's it. So yes. So Sarah says, I've seen a few of Kyle's videos. They were full of lies. I clicked don't recommend channel. He seemed like a bully. So I guess I canceled him. Yeah. But again, I don't mind you canceling him, but you actually looked and said, let me see. Oh, there we go. I should cancel. You didn't just go, oh, some guy told me Kyle was bad, so I'm going to cancel him. You listened and went, oh, he's garbage, and canceled him. Makes total sense. That's fair. You actually gave him social due process. You checked him out, so he's full of it, and left. Yes, 100%. So yes. All righty. Carly says, yes, 100% legal. And it should be. And it should be, Carly. I do not at all want this to not be legal. Just to be clear, I don't want that. Robert says, if Tim Pool's using Google with a Google account and not the VPN, he may deserve that inconvenience. He should know better. There are several privacy bribers to such engines that authorities can't get user data from. Yes, I think that's true. You're right, Robert. And it should not be true. Right? You see my point? You're correct. It is true. My point is, it should not be true. Right? It should be not that we don't have to do that. But you're right, we do. And he probably should know better. Absolutely. But again, let's say you're doing it. This is Tim Pool, but maybe someone else isn't. Maybe this is the hard part, right? I don't know Lauren Chen and her husband. Do they work business together? Do they not? What if he's just the husband of someone who is a YouTuber who does that work and he didn't know any better? I don't know that, but maybe. So they went and got his. They didn't get Tim's, they got his. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, you're correct, but you should not be correct. I wish you were wrong. That's what I would say. Tana goes on to say, Discord is notoriously anti-privacy. Lynn, again, thank you for being a member. Crystal loves to see others downfall like a mean girl. You're right. I've seen her do it more than once. She likes to giggle with smugness. Most people, and I don't know why this is, I think maybe it's kind of people who go there. Most people, not all, most people who come from mainstream media have that smugness. Most do, not all. If you look at, somebody who don't have that. I feel like Kim Iverson doesn't have that. She has much more of a curiosity to that than she has that. Or she may think that something's correct, but she doesn't even, she may say, I'm right, but she doesn't seem to be that, let me get him, it feels good. I don't see that with her. Maybe I'm up, but I don't see that with her either. I actually know her too, so maybe it could be because I know her. It could be. That might be because I consider her a friend. So full disclosure, that might be because I actually like her. It could be that. But then again, maybe it's real. I do like a lot of I do know a lot of people in this space, so I feel like maybe that's unfair. Yeah. Also, Alison Moreau also came out of mainstream media. Does not have this mean girl spirit to her at all. Doesn't have it at all. So some don't, but a lot do. So yes. All righty. So if I grab a couple more of these, if I could. All righty. Pete says, we're from the government and we're here to help. Yes. There we go. Yes, absolutely. 100%. That's funny. The anti-corporate says, I mean, don't get me wrong. Kyle should be out of Kyle. Crystal should be out of Kyle's league, but the heart wants what it wants. Agreed. Look, I'm not mad at them. If they're happy, no, my judgment, the reason why I tease him is because he's mean. In fact, you know what? He goes on to be an actual jerk. I didn't show that, but he goes on to be an actual jerk. He swears and says they shouldn't be taking money, and he's a jerk. So I'm a jerk to him because he's a jerk. But I agree with you completely. I'm very libertarian in this world, right? You love who you love. If it makes you happy, I will shut my mouth. I have nothing to say. If you two are happy, and if you three are happy, I'm not even going to go there. Whatever. If you 9 are happy, I don't care. If you're all happy, I'm good. No issue whatsoever. I mess with him because he's him. I mess with her because she's her. That's the reason, not because of their relationship. They are teasing people based upon, you know, their misfortune. I'm okay with that. Yes. Alrighty. Rebecca, how are you? Rebecca says, the Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson people were lied to and duped. Lauren Chen took the Russian money. Other independent media folks like Dave Smith and Justin Robert Young are like, why not me? Why didn't I get the money? I was just saying this, Rebecca. Someone's to give me 400 grand for 4 videos? Done and done. Done and done. I will happily take 400 grand for 4 videos. Happily. People are going to be like, Larry, that's a lot of money. Yes, it is. Larry, isn't it fishy? Let me see. Do I have the data that shows that they are not Russians? Yes. Thank you for the money. Happy to. I can do a lot of good stuff with that money. I make a lot of videos for that money. A lot of videos. Absolutely. So yes, everybody's jealous. How come I wanted too. Yes. Doreen says, this is rich since it's pretty clear this pair has been captured by DNC interests. Yes. MSM light with a dash of Palestine to sound convincing. Most of these faux progressives have lost their way. So when you bring up a very important piece, there's actually a small battle within this group, right? People who are like saying, you got to vote for Harris now. And some that say, well, no, you gotta, you gotta go for whatever, Jill Stein or whatever. And they're fighting back and forth. I think you're right. But these guys both times fell back to the Democratic Party. They were talking all kind of trash in 2020. And then, well, you got to vote for Biden. It's the most important election of our lifetime. That was both of them in 2020. Now 2024, they're all like, Marianne, they like went to, Marianne Williamson went to their wedding. I'm not even joking. Marianne Williamson went to their wedding. They were all like, Jill Stein's great. Marianne Williamson's awesome. We're gonna endorse, this person, that person. Then, it's down to the wire. Back to Harris. Totally sell out. Utterly sell out. You are totally correct. Absolutely true. So I wish it was. I wish it wasn't again, but you are totally correct. Yes. Leela says, never lie. Agreed. I follow the Gary Johnson model. Gary Johnson was one of those old school guys who said, I don't lie because I don't want to try to remember what I said. That's what he said. I'm with him. Look, one of the things you see me do is I do these shows almost every night. You see them often. I do tons of events, live events all the time. No notes, live. If I'm lying, and I record everything. If I'm lying, I'm going to get caught. You can guarantee I'm getting caught. So, and I can't remember everything. So I'm not lying. I agree with you, Leela. I'm not lying. You're totally correct. It doesn't make sense for me at all. At all. Yes. All right. Tea Tree Oil says, I'd have to consider how long the sentence would be with just the robbery charge. Criminals are getting out way too early these days. I like law and order. I'm with you. I'm not saying let a guy get away with it. I'm not at all. I'm not. All I'm saying is we should. And you might think that having the gun is a good law. I don't. But you might. So you might still want to vote. Hey, guilty. I don't think people should have guns. I disagree with that. I think they should be able to, but you might disagree with me. My point is, being a juror, your area, your state, your county, you start saying what laws you actually agree with and don't agree with, and it should matter. My point is, it doesn't. Your local state makes whatever law they want, regardless of whether you want it or not. It does not matter if you want it. You get the law. That's how it works in our system. There's no democracy in laws. They make whatever they want. The wealthy get what they want. The big business get what they want. That's what happens. This gives you the ability to go, no, that one's BS. That one's BS. Because what prosecutors want is convictions. That's what they want. That's how they're put ahead. Their conviction rate. They start getting acquittals, they stop charging. That's the incentive. If you think the idea that, he said the hate crime matters, then do the hate crime. I'm not a hate crime guy. You did the thing, pay the price for the thing. But you might think hate crimes are okay. All right, vote yes on the hate crime then, because you think it's okay. I don't. I would vote no. You think the gun is, vote that way. My point is your local area will decide what matters in that area. Otherwise, you have no say. That's my point. You don't have any say. This is the way to do it. I hope that makes sense at least. So yes. All righty. Let's see if I can go down here. Raza goes, hit the like button. People, yes. He's right. Do that. Click the button that's like. Correct. Yes. Peekabell's like left hand all the way. Yes. Use your left hand. That's how it works. Mule Spud says, you got my first ever nose like. I was looking for more. Are you on Kick? I don't think I'm on Kick. I probably should be on Kick. I don't think I am. I don't think I'm on Kick. No. I'm on like 18 different places. I stream live on 8, and then I chop up and put them in different places. So, yeah, I think it's 8, yeah. But no, not Kick. Not Kick. So, yes. All right. Peace Logic says, there was a good TED Talk with a strong case that you should pay attention to electing the right prosecutor. Not all states lie to elect. Correct. Yes. Prosecutors, sheriff, DA, all those things. Yes, they do matter. 100%. They do matter if you can. Most of the time, though, you can't, because, again, even that is often set up through the party system. So if you can get out of the party system, yes, but it absolutely would do that. Yes. All right. Raza says, please don't leave us, Larry. We need you. I might move to New York. It's up in the air where I'm going to move until Election Day. You want to come to New York? I mean, welcome. I don't know why, but welcome. It's a beautiful state. I mean, it's a beautiful state. I would say New York is one of the prettiest states literally in the planet. It is a very, country at least, it's a very beautiful state, right? You can see so much here. People don't realize we have the biggest city in the entire country, as well as mountains, lakes, falls, rivers, whatever you like, hunting, farmland. And when you go up state New York, Western New York, North Country, when you're there during the fall, it is amazingly beautiful. Amazingly beautiful. New York is a very beautiful state. Its government sucks and destroys the state. The state itself is beautiful. It's amazing. Beaches, Broadway, Madison Square Garden. We got all the things you want. Hockey, football, baseball, soccer, all the things. Whatever's your thing. We got it. Art. Got it all here. So yes, it's a great place to be. If we didn't have a crappy government, it would be amazing. So yes. Lynn says, you're not stupid, you're a fighter. I could be a stupid fighter, but I will say that. Yes, 100%. Riot Sticker says, I was in North Carolina court on Thursday for RFK's hearing about ballot access. The judge ruled that he couldn't be removed from the ballot. Appeal court changed today. Can you explain why that happens? Yes. There are two different ways you can look at this. Number one, as a general rule, the lower courts don't care about the law. Don't care about the Constitution or the people. Why? Judges at lower courts, they're only accountable to the party apparatus. Again, you say, what are you talking about? Yeah. Judges at the lower level either get appointed, depending upon where you are in a state, where you are appointed by somebody who's elected because of the party apparatus, or they're elected by the local people because of party apparatus. Now, the same way that a congressman doesn't care what you think because they're going to get elected anyway because their district is gerrymandered and the party bosses select them. They don't care what you think because they're getting elected anyway. Who cares? Judges are the same way. Doesn't matter what you think. Who cares? Why do I care about the Constitution? Who cares? If I piss off my party bosses, I don't get reelected because they won't support me. They won't give me money. I won't get supported, or I won't get selected by the governor or mayor or council or whatever selects the judges. So my loyalty is not to the Constitution. My loyalty is only to the party apparatus, not to the people either. But once you move up in the appeals court, which is why people get appealed, right? Why? Because once you get hired, that judge has very often, depending on the judge, one or two things have happened. One, they're at the highest they're going to go. This is where I'm going to go. I'm not going any higher. I don't care what the party apparatus thinks. I will actually do my job, care about the people and about the people and about the Constitution and my legacy. So I'm doing the right thing. Or the opposite. They have become a political power unto themselves through either patronage, cash, whatever, made by relationships. They're not afraid of the party anymore, right? You can't touch them because they are powerful in their own right, in which case they will also do the right thing. That's why very often appellate courts will give you better, not always, but they often give you better results, more towards the people and or the Constitution, not just blatantly following some law that some brain dead, empty suit in an assembly put together. That's the reason why. That's why lower courts tend to be terrible. Family courts tend to be terrible. These are people who haven't been promoted to the top yet. So that is the reason why the appellate court would change it. That was probably the right decision. If that makes any sense. The lower court was like, what do you guys want? You want that? Okay. Right. So particularly if the Democratic establishment is strong in that area, I don't know if that's true, but in many cities, the Democratic establishment is strong. The Democratic establishment said, leave him on the ballot. Leave him on the ballot. He takes votes away from Trump. The judge went, okay. I'm not joking. He went, okay. And left him on the ballot. Then the appellate court they were like, leave him on the ballot. He was like, I'm not listening to you. I'll do what I think is right. I'm not listening to you. I'm not going any further. Or I'm already powerful. I don't need you chumps. I'll do what I want. That's what the judge probably did. He went, oh, yeah, that's bogus. We can let him off. Let him off. That's it. I wish it was like they were studying stuff. They don't. I mean, I know that often judges don't even read what you give them. How do I know? I've been through this. Literally, I've been through this. I've gone pro se. I've done all these things. And literally, this was a judge, Weinstein? I think Weinstein in Albany, literally said in his response to me, Larry Sharpe did not present a constitutional argument. The word constitutional was in both my oral arguments, in the transcripts, and in my written argument. Both. The word was in it. Like literally the word constitution was in can you read them? And when I was talking, he didn't pay attention. Because he decided already. He didn't care. He already decided. The party bosses told him to do it. He went, okay. And that was it. And you might say, does that work for everything? No, not for everything, right? Because most cases don't affect the party status. In that case, judges do what they think is best. But in these cases, these are party cases. Therefore, they care only about what the party thinks. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I should have been clearer. I'm not saying they do this in every single case. I'm saying any case that deals with the party, they care about the party and the infrastructure far more than your rights, far more than the Constitution. That's second tertiary. Doesn't matter. So yes. All right. Let's see here. Colidi says, lots of people get their 15 minutes of fame at the expense of others. I can't stand that. You're right. You're right. I can't stand it. Rebecca says, I served on a jury for a DUI crime. The Tom Anelli guy is really good. The evidence given was circumstantial, and the jury really argued about it, but ultimately we found him innocent. The state prosecutor really wanted him put away. Yes. Now, why does the state prosecutor want him put away? Because he's a bad guy? No. Because he cares about the law? No. Because once he puts him up, he wants his conviction rate to be high so he gets promoted. That's why. Yes, that's why. All righty. Let's see if I can do this. Peekabell says, this is the most irrelevant thing ever, but I absolutely have to know what lipstick Lauren Chen uses. Why is it irrelevant? That's nice. Maybe you care about her lipstick. That's good. You should have the lipstick you want, Peekabell. Whichever one's going to work best for you. I love it. Yes. Yes. All right. Anticoper says the most relevant and the most you thing ever. See, you got people already supporting you. Absolutely. Yes. I love that. Rosa says, I don't care either. I'm voting Bobby Kennedy Jr. There we go. Colidi says 5%, keep your eye on the prize, third parties. That's where I'm going. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pete says the government in New York's a joke. Remember when casinos were coming to upstate New York to save the local economy? I remember that. Now they want to put up a casino in Manhattan and kill the small communities. Yes. Another example of them dealing with a group that's in their way. And for what? Money. 100%. Yes, you are correct. Every time that the New York State government tries to do something, it begins to fall apart. Constantly fall apart constantly. Yes. So Nancy K says, oh my God, brilliant. I'm not sure what that was for, but Alexa says, that's genius. Yes. There we go. Yes. I don't know where that came from, but thank you. Yes, it is. Yes. Pickabell says double secret president. Yes, that's it. You can be double secret president more than anybody else. Yes, absolutely. Morgan says, if anyone would say they're super president, it would be Trump. That's true. He would say that. He'd be like, I'm the superest president there ever was. Yes, you're correct. Yes. Mike says, a mandate would be if he gets a Republican Congress. Mike, thank you. Yes, that's accurate. Now he's got a mandate. Yes. That would make sense at least. Look, we should focus on the Senate or focus on the bubble or whatever. That makes total sense. 100%. Totally agree. Totally agree. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. Morgan, question. How is canceling similar different than boycotting? There's a difference, right? Boycotting is done usually by the populace. Canceling is usually done by the authority or the power, right? So if we say we don't like Lauren Chen, I mean, I have no opinion on her. I don't really care. I don't watch her stuff. She might be great. I actually don't know. So no judgment on her at all. I don't know. But let's assume that we don't like her. We don't like Lauren Chen. Okay, got it. We stop watching her. That's boycott. It's fine. We've decided we don't like her for whatever reason. We stop watching her. Okay. Canceling is you don't have a choice, Morgan. You don't have a choice. YouTube says she's gone. That's what happened. That's canceling. Gone. YouTube, you're gone. If YouTube wants to pretend like they are they're just a platform, they are the public square, you can't pull out a public square. If somebody wants to go into a public park and say, I'm going to tell you why everybody should eat carrots, that's fine. You don't have to listen. Walk away. Now the cops come by and arrest them. That's canceling. You see a difference? Boycotting's fine. If you don't like somebody, don't watch them. Don't listen. Ignore them. And generally speaking, they go away. Generally speaking, they go away. So, yes. All righty. You guys are going back and forth with each other. I do appreciate that tremendously. Yes. Carly says, when Bernie told me to vote for his good friend Joe, I laughed and made sure to vote third party. Yes. And says, Larry, you didn't know I was a libertarian? You guys didn't know that? I ran in 2018 as a libertarian. I ran in 2022 poorly as a libertarian. So yes, absolutely. I'm absolutely libertarian. Yes. And I'm proud of it. I say all the time. It doesn't mean I don't recognize that we need to change the system. I wish we had a better system, right? So, Thomas, the First Amendment can be said to protect the right of freedom of thought and conscience. Ooh, I like that. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Rebecca says there was a coordinated attempt this week to get Neurotic and other YouTubers canceled this week because of a failed Star Wars show. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Okay, Rebecca, you made that very clear for me. Thank you. Yep, absolutely. Pag says, I unsubscribed with TYT, Breaking Points, Kyle. They're the same reason. I stopped listening to Rachel Maddow. Yeah. But you got to admit, Pag, Rachel Maddow is a talented, she's good at what she does. Whether you agree with her or not, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying she is talented at what she does. That's all I'm saying. Yes. Nancy says, Larry isn't pro-Trump or Harris. Probably vote Chase Oliver. I'm RFK Jr. I'm supporting Trump, RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard. If Trump appoints Fink and Diamond, I would jump ship. Yes. Look, if RFK Jr. is on the ballot in New York, I'm going to vote RFK Jr. if he's on the ballot. I'm going to put my grain of sand into this. I'm asking you to do it. I got to do it too. If he's not and he's bailing and everything, it's not. Then I probably would write in Chase Oliver. I think you're right. That would be my backup. When it comes to actual policies, Chase Oliver is closest to me when it comes to policy. He's the closest when it comes to policy to me. He's the closest one. He isn't exactly, but he's closest to me than all of them. When it comes to impact, Bobby Kennedy Jr. has the best chance of impact. Not even close. He by far has the best chance of impact on changing the system so that people like Chase Oliver and Jill Stein and Cornel West and whomever have a better chance at having success in the future. And I don't just want to, as you heard me a million times say, I don't just want to, let's just stop Trump this time or Harris this time, and then 4 years we get someone worse. So no, I want to change things if I can. Absolutely. Missy says, great conversation, everyone. I agree. So guys, share it. Don't be greedy. Why are you guys greedy? Can't believe it. You guys have great conversations. Missy says it, and you won't share this, and you won't retweet this, and you won't repost this. Why are you so greedy? You guys are just greedy. That's what you are. If you don't share this now, you are greedy. See that? Why am I insulting you? I don't know. Anyway, it's your fault, Missy. I'm not insulting you instead. Yes, I'm insulting you instead, Missy. It's your fault. You can, of course, subscribe to the channel. Please do so if you haven't already. If you're watching on YouTube, that is, please subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, please click that follow button. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't done that. You can always, of course, super chat me. Some people are. I appreciate that. You can also become a member if you want to, $49 per month. Click that join button and stay with me. I try to take my members first if I can. Try to grab it to the best of my ability. So please do that if you can. It is great to do. So yes. So let's see if I can go here. Carly says, yes, Barbie hair Kyle is her husband. Yes. That's all I'm saying. So yes. Phil says, yes, she divorced her husband and married a much younger guy. Look at her playing the game. Look at you. Get some. Okay. That's, you know what? I thought of it that way, Phil. I like the way you put that. That's true. 100%. Crystal, get some. You play that game. Absolutely. You play that game. Yes. The Anticorporate says Lemon got his contract paid out at $24 million. Yeah, but his lifestyle is crazy. He just got married, a year ago, dropped a whole bunch on that. I think that he's burning through that money. So he's scared now. He's like, I've been burning through my money. He's been burning through his money. So, you know what I'm saying? He's got to make sure he does something because he's burning through that cash probably pretty fast is what I would say. So he's got to go get some cash. Absolutely. So, all right. So I grab a couple more of these. Alexa says, that reminds me that you watched Jill Stein's response to AOC. I gave one too, by the way. I gave my response to AOC. You guys might have seen that one. Yes, I did. And she's right. AOC is completely a sellout. It's terrible. Yes, 100%. Rebecca says, Rachel Maddow is a commenter host on MSNBC. Very progressive liberal. True. Kennedy is a commenter host on Fox. Very conservative libertarian. Both female, but opposite sides. Yes. And I happen to know, I don't know Rachel Maddow ever. I've never met her. I don't know her. I know Lisa Kennedy. I love her. She is awesome. I am blatantly a stand for her. So whatever she does, she didn't do it. And if she did it, she didn't mean it. If she didn't mean it, you didn't understand it. I don't care. Lisa Kennedy is always right. Leave her alone. Why do I say that? because when I was running in 2022, when I was running in 2018, I got in the ballot, I was doing well, everybody loved me. I was everybody's friend. Everybody loved Larry Sharpe 2018. Can't wait to get me on a show. Can't wait to talk to me. Everybody loves Larry Sharpe 2018. 2022 came around. All of a sudden, the Republicans throwing $500,000 trying to get rid of me. All of a sudden, I'm in court. I can't get around the state anymore because I'm in court every other goddamn week. Spending all my money on courts, and I can't campaign with a damn. Struggling in my campaign. Can't get in the ballot. Kicked off the ballot. Lost the ballot. Back on the ballot. Off the ballot. All of a sudden, everybody forgot my name. Larry who? Who you? I don't know. Forgot my name. One person did not forget my name and still had me on a show and still supported me when I was getting my ass kicked in 2022. And that person was Lisa Kennedy. So I am a Lisa Kennedy stan, and I will defend her up until death. She is awesome and always correct. Done and done. Done and done. When I needed her, she was there. I am now with her. I am now a stan. There we go. So, yes. Nancy says, I heard Marianne say she's backing Harris. I had to re-listen 2 more times so I couldn't believe my ears. I know. It's terrible. I thought she would. Yeah. Kick pays 90%. Is that right? I didn't go jump on Kick. I'm on the wrong platform. Okay, I got to go on platform. I'm on the wrong platform. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I do appreciate that. So, all righty. Let's see if I can grab here. So many of that. I do appreciate all these as always. All righty. Morgan says, this could qualify as political comedy. Being from the state is quite entertaining. It can be. I would agree. Yes, I would agree. That's right. Yep. All righty. Let's see here. People like, you guys like Candace? Okay. Judges, they're very powerful. In my view, too powerful, Raza. In my view, too powerful. Right? And only because of one thing. They are not able to be, they're not accountable. That's the reason. They are not accountable. If they were made accountable, I'm okay. So, yes. Sneed says, how's it going? I just never subscribed to this idea of boycotting a celebrity, no matter how bad they are. Like, even if I discover they're serial killers. Wow. Do people understand how many people are involved in production? Plus, if the ad did a good job, they did a good job. No. Here is what I would say. This is my view on this. When it comes to any artist or celebrity, whatever the case may be, if the person is not openly trying to be the person to stop you, in other words, if someone says, hey, artists that I like, who do you prefer? And they go, I prefer Trump or I prefer Harris. I'm not going to boycott them for that. Now, if they're at the Harris event, hawking Harris and calling Trump supporters idiots, or at the Trump event, hawking Trump and calling Harris supporters idiots, I might take offense to that, right? Because now you are putting yourself out there and saying that everyone else who doesn't believe how you believe is stupid or bad. I might hold that against him. But every one of us has a right to believe who's a better person or who's a better candidate. Sorry. Who better? We all do. And if they happen to like Harris better or whatever, Trump better, that's fine. I'm not mad at them for that. People they grew up, they believe what they believe, all fine. But if you're out there going, I'm right, my guy's the best, your guy's dumb, you're stupid for believing it, I might hold them accountable for that. I might. Depends. But generally speaking, I judge the artist by the art. I think you're right. Generally speaking, I judge the artist by the art, unless they go out of their way to do something otherwise. And even when they don't, here's the hardest part. And I use this one, but the one I use, Sned, is Michael Jackson. Now, Michael Jackson wasn't convicted of anything, right? He didn't do it right, whatever. Or was he? Whatever. Michael Jackson died. Whatever happened, right? I still like Michael Jackson music. I do. And if I hear it on the radio, I mean, I don't own any right now because I don't own any music now because I threw most of my stuff out because who does CDs anymore? But anyway, I still like his music. If I hear it on the radio, I'm probably going to still sing along and like it, even though he might have diddled some youngins. That might have happened. I don't know if it did before. I haven't looked into that because I don't want to look into that because I don't want him to be guilty. Again, he might be. I don't know. I purposely don't want to know because, to your point, I want to be able to enjoy his music. Bill Cosby, he's funny. He has some old stuff that was a riot. but then he gets political and then he maybe puts some stuff in people's drinks. Now I can't listen to your comedy anymore. Sucks. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. It's terrible. I got to somehow say, I won't go help him anymore, but the old stuff I listen to, I got to do that, I guess. I got to somehow draw a line somewhere. Like, okay, I won't like buy any more songs, but I'll just listen to the ones that I already have. I don't know. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. I completely agree. It's a tough one. So anyway, Mike brings up a very, very valid point. Boycotts don't remove the free speech of others. Canceling does. That's simple and that important. Agreed and agreed. Yes, 100%. Yes, absolutely. So Phil says Saga is the best part of Breaking Points. That's good. Rebecca, greed is good. Did you just look at you? Pulled out Wall Street on me. Yes, well done. Yeah, but that's you, Rebecca. That's you. You know what? Theater kid. That's you. Yeah, that is very much on brand. I appreciate that. Shelley says you ran not only a good campaign, but an outstanding campaign. Oh, thank you. Unfortunately, the D's, R's, and C's were running counter campaigns to get you off the ballot, even using judges with jaw-dropping evil. Yeah, that was bad. You were there, Shelley. I remember you there. Thank you for that support. I do love that. You were absolutely there. Yes, absolutely. So, yeah. All righty. See if I can get down here again. Synthoni. Sorry. Synthoni. Could Bobby be worried about splitting the vote in 2028 between third party and the R party, besides which party he would need to represent come that time? I don't think so. I mean, I guess in theory, don't know. I don't see that. No, I don't think he's thinking that far, to be forward with you. I think most people are not thinking that far ahead at all. And if you want impact, you need a third party. And I'll say this again so you guys can get this completely. Most of you do, but if you don't, I want to be very clear about this. Politics is the mafia. It's the mob. If you don't have leverage, you have nothing. Leverage is everything. And if you don't have a party or don't have the vote percentage or something, you have no power. Why does any person in New York State care about me at all? Why? Because I have in New York State about 3 to 4% of the electorate statewide. About. If you're in a race that is a blowout, you don't care about me. I mean nothing to you. I'm some dude. What are you doing? Get out of here. If you're in a tight race, you think Larry Sharpe could deliver 3% in a tight race, I'm all of a sudden your best friend. Then you calling me up and see if I can come up to your area and have a conversation, seeing if I could do a little press conference with you. That's what happens if because I have leverage in that specific realm. In the overall realm, outside of New York State, I have almost no pull. Nobody cares. I have no leverage. I don't mean anything. Doesn't matter. In New York State, in certain areas, I have more pull than other areas. If you happen to be running for office in that area and your race is close, a lot of our areas are just gerrymandered, so they're going to win by 20, 30 points. Who cares? But if you're close, you might want me. You might want to have a conversation with me. Why? In that case, I have leverage. Bobby Kennedy has far more leverage than I have. Far more leverage than I have, both in money, in votes across the country. I am not very well known outside of New York State. He's well known everywhere. So he has much more. If he gives this away, he has no leverage and therefore no power. And therefore, why would you support him? Meaning, if you're Trump and his administrators, why would you support him? Can't do anything. What's his repercussions? Nothing. Right? Why do they don't care about me? Larry only has 3%. Doesn't mean anything. What if I had 14%, 15%? Then they care. Then they care. So anyway, hope that's clear. So yes. All righty. Pinkerbrough says, unironically, Larry, you do really well on Kick. All right. Got to make sure of that. Okay. We got to figure this out. Rebecca says, Kennedy Lisa Stan, she did nothing wrong. Just a response to the comment. No, I get it. I wasn't thinking you were saying that. I just wanted everyone else to know. Right? And Daniel now knows, note to self, Lisa Kennedy is awesome. I'll never forget it. My job here is done. My job here is done. Yes, that's the issue. Rosa says, you remembered who remembered you. Yes, I did. One of the best things, there's no best. One of the only good things about getting your ass kicked is that when you're down, You remember who stayed and who ran away, who ignored you, and who kicked you. And boy, a lot of people kicked me in 2022. I will never forget. I found my friends. To your point, Roz, you were correct. I found my friends. When I was $40,000 in debt, the people who said, Larry, don't worry about it, pay me later. It took me 2 years to pay off all my debt. Some people threatened me. And the worst part is the people who threatened me didn't even need it. Like they weren't like in a tough spot, right? Where they were like, dude, if I don't get paid, the world's gonna... No, they were just like, you owe me, go to hell. Yes, I remember those guys too. Remember those who said, Larry, it's okay. If you got to pay me next year, pay me next year. And look, if you needed the money, I get it. Some people weren't starving. They were like, Larry, you do owe me, but pay me later. I remember those people too, 100%. There were people who did that, 100%. So yes, I do remember who stayed with me, who didn't stay with me, who kicked me. I remember. Ryan, thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. Larry, is impact equally as important as raising money and buying polls for third parties? That would perfectly explain the better party here in Missouri. They are the same. One of the reasons why RFK Jr. can make impact is because he raised money and bought polling. If you notice, one of his pollsters was Zogby. Zogby did many polls. Zogby is what showed how he was polling so much, how much power he had, and one of the reasons why the Democrats wanted to remove him, the Republicans wanted to bring him in, because of the percentage that he had. He had anywhere from 5 to 19%, depending on which polls at what time. If you average that out, it's 12%. If half would have voted from that, 6%. 6% of the electorate can easily decide this election. Easily. I don't know if it's 6%. I made that up. I averaged his high and low and then took half of that as who would actually voted for him. Doing it. Usually about half of what you poll is what you get. I polled at 6%, which is why I say I have about 3%, because I polled at 6. Polling at 6 tells me I probably would have gotten 3. So that's why I said that. He polled average of 12. I'm saying 6. 6% in this election can decide the entire election. That's why so you understand my numbers. So yes, buying the polls matters, raising money matters, and that's how you make the impact, because all that matters is the impact. But to get there, you've got to raise money, and you've got to buy polls, both of those two. So yeah. All righty. Let's see here. Rebecca says, I feel the same now with Jack Black. He's being overused and too outspoken. Yes, and Rebecca, thank you. I'm so glad you watched that. Yes, I loved Jack Black. Now, not so much. But I used to love him. I thought his stuff was funny. I still remember his Shallow Hal movie, right? I mean, I thought he was great. I love Jack Black. Now I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't love Jack Black. Only one reason. I knew he was a lefty. I wasn't mad at him being a lefty. But man, at one point, you could just do movies. Just do Tenacious D. Just do your stuff. And stop yelling about how Orange Man bad and how Harris is the new Empress. You could just, he was a Biden guy. So he was how Biden is, nothing's wrong with him. No, he's perfect. Yes. I'm with you. I agree with you. Morgan says, I do believe in separating the art from the artist in a lot of ways. I try. It does, but to Rebecca's point, Morgan, I can't always do this. So yes. Sarah says, this is a fantastic chat, and thanks so much for answering my questions. I'm working outside in the heat and listening along, giving you all a break from my chattering. I love the fact that this chat goes back and forth all the time. I love the fact that it happens. I can't tell you how much I love it. Yes. Daniel says, RFK Jr. should have picked Lisa Kennedy for VP. If he had done that and done that early, if he had done that in, say, last December, January, he'd have won a libertarian line. He'd won it. He would have the libertarian line. There are many people I know for sure who are running for the Libertarian Party president who would have dropped out and backed him. They're like, I'm out. You can get me Lisa Kennedy's VP. Done. Yes, that would have happened. If he had done that, Daniel, you're right. He'd have got the libertarian line. He'd been off of the states. He'd still be running. Would change everything. Yes. But again, that's not who he is. That's not what you want to do. But if he, 100%, you're completely right. If he'd have picked, I'll tell you what, if he'd have picked. If he'd have picked Thomas Massey, now Massey would never do it. But I'm just saying theoretically, right? Theoretically. He'd picked Massey maybe in December, would have raised a gazillion dollars, would have had the libertarian line, and would still be running, and we'd be looking at a contingent election right now. we'd be looking at a contingent election right now. So yes, 100%. That's what would be happening. So yes. Anyway, let's see if I can grab a couple of these if I could. All right. Sarah says, if Larry starts telling us two-party system is the best answer, I'm canceling him. As you should. If I start doing that, you'll know I've been co-opted. At that point, I would just go, hi, everybody. I've officially sold out. I'll just tell you. I've officially sold out. The DNC and RNC gave me a check for $2 million each. I now believe the system is exactly perfect. It's a wonderful system. We should change nothing. I would just take the money and be honest at that point, Sarah. I took the money, guys. I drank the Kool-Aid. I'll try to be funny, but it's $4 million. Sorry, guys. I've sold out. I'm teasing. Do I have a price? I think we all do, but my price is far too high for them to pay. It's far too high for them to pay. They would have to pay me enough money that I could, on my own, somehow create my own party on my own. We're talking $200 million, $500 million. Then maybe I'd sell out. For that kind of money, I might, because then I could create something that would be worth it so that I could sell out and still create something great that can keep going. So maybe, I mean, I think we all have a price. Mine's just way too high. They would never pay it, right? I think I'm far too high right now for them to pay it. So, but yeah, I think we all kind of have one. So yes, there we go. I think that's kind of funny. So yes. Carly says Lisa Kennedy would have been a great pick for his VP. I agree completely. Yes. Guys, I want to say, please do me a favor. If you haven't already, click the button that is like. I know I say it. Share if you can. If you have not subscribed and followed, now will be the great time to do so. If you have not already, thank you for the super chats, guys. I appreciate it. Become a member if you can. I am considering doing an AMA tomorrow night. I may do one. My daughter has left me and gone off to college. So I do have some time this weekend because she's not here, and I'm going to be boo-hooing, missing her tremendously. But she'll be back for the holidays, but she's gone now. I'll miss her tremendously. So I may have some time. So I may do an AMA tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. I will be off on Sunday, though. I'll be back on Monday night with my 9 p.m. show. I will be back on Monday night, my 9 p.m. show. And Tuesday, I will be doing my 1 p.m. radio show call-in at WYSL out of Rochester, Tuesday at 1 p.m. As always, once this is over, please, if you can, come back, write a comment for you know who, Mr. Rhythm, Al Rhythm, middle name Gore. I will see you all very soon.